Let's go. How everybody doing today? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. YouTube. What's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another live, guys. And today's live is going to be on some sleepers that you picking up before week 13. Sleepers. I got 6 sleepers for you guys. And if you got any stars or 6 questions, you got any about anything, spam the chat. Let me see y'all put the 100 symbol to let me know how many people in here who's rocking with me today. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just cutting edge content. Let me see who's in the building today. We got Hennessy Black in the building. Yes, sir. We got MVM in the building. What's up, bruh? We got Aaron Holloway in the building. What's up, bruh? Yes, sir. We got Dean James Talley in the building. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. So let's get started. And like I said, guys, you know the protocol. If you want to skip the line and get your questions answered immediately, use Super Chat. Other than that, become a member of the channel. I try to get to the members first. I do a shout out for the members. If your name is highlighted, you get shout out. That means you are a member of the channel. And also, guys, if you're not a member, it's nothing bad. I appreciate everybody being here. A view is a view. All right. Okay. So let's go. Let's start with my first guy, and it's going to be John Mechie from the New York Jets. John Mechie. Now listen, guys, let me tell you about John Mechie, why you should be stashing him on your team. The reason why you should be having him on your team is Garrett Wilson is out. Outside of Garrett Wilson, guys, there's nobody else over there to count on for Tyrod Taylor to throw the ball to. So to me, John Mechie is a dart throw, wide receiver 3, flex play is a great candidate for the rest of the season, including week 13. So that's why I'm on John Mechie, guys. And he's been getting, last week he had like 7 or 8 targets. The week before that, he had 3 targets, but he still had a touchdown in each of those games. So that lets you know that he's a green zone target. He is a green zone target. So that makes his value even be better by picking him up. He's not just a PPR guy, which that's what we thought he was before when he had cancer. We knew that if he could beat the cancer, he was going to be an underneath PPR guy. That's how Houston was going to use him, but they traded him for whatever reason. He was sick with cancer. Now he's with the Jets. And he's getting targets in the green zone, which I'm very surprised by that because that's not his specialty. He's never been a big touchdown guy, but he's always been a guy with a yak guy underneath, like a phone booth player guy. So I like John Mechie. They are playing Atlanta this week. Atlanta is not bad, but I believe they can be had, right? Moving on to my number 2, guys. This is another wide receiver. It's going to be Trey Tucker from the Las Vegas Raiders. Trey Tucker from the Las Vegas Raiders. And the reason why they trade Tucker, guys, I believe with the offensive coordinator being fired, Chip Kelly, I believe they take more shots deep and they run the ball a lot more. So it's going to be play action, Brock Bowers, play action, take a deep shot with Trey Tucker. The reason why I say that Trey Tucker's going to get deep shots, he's probably the fastest guy on this team. He gets behind people a lot. Geno doesn't always complete it. He don't have the time. But I believe this team is going to be revamped. It's going to be a different type of team. This is going to be a traditional Pete Carroll team where Genty is going to get 20 to 25 touches a game, kind of like a Marshawn Lynch. Not saying he's the Marshawn Lynch, but that's the type of team that Pete Carroll likes to have. And then he also likes to take shots down the field to a guy like DK Metcalf or a play action in route to Tyler Lockett. That's the type of game script that I'm looking at when I'm looking at the players, and I like Trey Tucker to get some beneficiaries from that type of system. So pick up Trey Tucker. He can make big plays for you. You can win some of these weeks. You can get into the playoffs by using some of these players that nobody else won't. Moving on to my number 3 guy, here's a quarterback for you. It's going to be C.J. Stroud. The reason why I like C.J. Stroud, I know he's coming off a severe concussion, but this team has been revamped. This team is blocking up front better. The defense is playing out of his mind. CJ Stroud is coming into a couple of decent weapons. We know Nico what Nico it is, but Dalton Schultz is still a decent tight end. Then you got Xavier Hutchinson. You got a lot of these guys that haven't did a lot, but they are playing well. While Davis Mills been at the quarterback position. So I think CJ Stroud carries that out. Maybe it takes him a week to get going. Maybe you don't start him this week, but maybe you can start him going forward in week 14. So pick up CJ Stroud. He's playing against Indianapolis, that's not a, it's not a terrible matchup. They're a good team, but it's not terrible. All right, let's move on to my number 4 guy. Here's a wide receiver. It's going to be Terry McLaurin. I don't know if Terry McLaurin is on your waivers, but you need to pick this guy up. I know he's playing against Denver, so I'm not telling you this week, but Jaden Daniels should be playing next week. He practiced this week. So hopefully Jaden McDaniels plays next week, and you can have Terry McLaurin and Debo out there, and that's what we wanted the whole season, right? So I like Terry McLaurin. Stash him, pick him up. He could be a sleeper. A lot of people have dropped Terry McLaurin. They think Mariota's going to be the quarterback. They don't know if Jaden Daniels is coming back. So with that mystery, I think it's an opportunity to go pick up Terry McLaurin off the waivers if he's out there. He might not be on everybody's waivers, but in 8 teams and 10-team leagues, he probably is out there on your waivers. All right, we got 2 more guys to go. Thank y'all for being patient. The next guy I want to talk about is going to be Chris Rodriguez from the same team, the Washington Commanders. And, we thought Ja'Cory Cross get married. I drafted a lot of him. It didn't work out. I still think he's going to be a good back in the future. But right now, it's Chris time. It's Chris Rodriguez time. Now, I'm not telling you to start him this week, but if you needed a player, I would feel great about playing a running back who's going to get goal line touches. It's about the goal line touches. So he's going to get the goal line touches. He's going to get 15 touches. So pick up Chris Rodriguez if he's on your waivers. This is a sleeper to me. This is a guy that can finish as a top 10 running back in any week, especially when his starting quarterback gets back going, which is Jaden Daniels. And last but not least is going to be a tight end that's a sleeper. It's going to be Darnell Washington. Now, listen, I know a lot of you have played him. He only gave you 4 points last week, but I'm going to keep going to that well because I know what the guy can do. So if you need a tight end, it's okay to play him. And listen, if you got better players, go to these other players. You got other players that you trust more than these guys, do that. But I'm giving you some guys that it's okay to go down with the ship. When we go to these sleepers are not, they're going to hit every single time. I can make sure that my sleepers hit. I could just talk about John Mechie. I know John Mechie is going to have a decent outing, but I'm trying to go as far in the trash can or far as in the dumpster as I can because sometimes you can pull valuable things out of the trash. And I'm not calling these players trash, but they not getting elite targets. They're not elite players, but they can still win you weeks. So that's why I'm going to guys like Darnell Washington, who has struggled some and has another tight end or a couple tight ends that he has to overcome. But I think he's still a guy that if I didn't have any other tight end in a tight end premium league, I'll play Darnell Washington. Why not? He's out there on a lot of snaps. Okay. All right, let's get to some of these comments right here. Hennessy Black says, Juwan Johnson or Waller? I'm going with Juwan Johnson. He's safer. Let's go with Juwan Johnson this week. Hennessy Black, what's going on, bro? He says, whether in Cleveland, start DK over Jennings now. No. Still go with Jennings over DK. We're not going to play a Tennessee Titan guy that's on an offense that Cam Ward cannot really have a top 24 wide receiver unless he gets a punt return. The times that DK has played good has been the punt return. If he goes for another punt return or a long punt return and you get those yards, that's fine. But if you only get the touchdown, I wouldn't play DK over Jennings. I would play Jennings, even though the weather could be bad. Ice Cold Jones said Sutton or Vidal. That's easy. We're going with Vidal with a good matchup against the Las Vegas Raiders. Also, should I drop Iden even if Baker is injured or not? It just depends, bro. Dropping Otten just to drop Otten doesn't make sense. Are you dropping Otten to pick up a player? If you're going to pick up a player and you need to drop Otten for a better player that's going to give you more points or give you a better, give you more running back depth or something like that, that's fine. But don't drop Otten just to drop him, because sometimes you have to play defense just by holding on to a guy because you don't know what's going to happen with that situation. So you just don't want to drop him just because you can. I would start Vidal over Sutton, and I would drop Otten if I need to pick up a player to help me win for the future. It could be a handcuff or it could be whatever. Ice Cold Jones says, also hope everything is well, bro. Yes, sir. Hennessy Black says, okay, we did that one already. Sorry about that, guys. Miracle Baller says, what up, TD? I've been having health issues, so been MIA for a bit. It's all good, bro. I'm praying for you. Hopefully you get better, man. Hopefully you get better, bro. MVM in the building. He says, Rico, Junkins, Harvey, Vidal, Ladd, Tet, Michael Wilson, Kittle, Bowers. Please pick 2 running backs. Okay, so 2 running backs would be let's go with Vidal. Let's go with Vidal and Harvey. But if you wanted to put Rico in over Harvey or Vidal, it's nothing for me to say. Even if you wanted to do Junkins. But I'm going with straight up matchups. The San Francisco 49ers are not terrible against the run. They really good against the run. They're top 10 defense, I believe, against the run. So that could slow Junkins down a little bit. Rico is the bell cow. They messed up last week by trying to get extra cute and didn't give Rico enough touches to help establish the line of scrimmage. So they probably won't make that mistake again. So that's why I like Rico. I like Rico and Vidal. Vidal matchup is gravy, especially with Hampton being out again. I want to go to that well for one last time, because once Hampton comes back, we're not gonna be able to use Vidal anymore. So all those guys are really good matchups. I mean, has really good matchups and have potential to have a good week. But Harvey going against the Washington Commanders, who's been giving up behind the dumpster, I like him this week. Even though Sean Payton is, he's crazy. He can play anybody. He can do anything. Vidal, I think that's just a great matchup. Rico and Junkins are your studs. So if you wanted to dance with the girl that you came to the party with, it will be easily Rico and Junkins. But what do I tell y'all when we get into the late 3rd quadrant, in the beginning of the 4th quadrant? We're not gonna do a lot of tomatoes, because we have to make decisive decisions in this time. We can't just put guys out there knowing that something terrible can happen, depending on the situation, right? Certain times you got to do that, but sometimes you don't. So I'm gonna cherry pick here for the best matchups with guys that got great potential, because we're going in the 4th quadrant. It's time for rookies and stuff like that to get going. So Harvey, I like Harvey this week. And I like Vidal. Far as wide receivers, let me see. I'm going to go with Tet and Ladd. I'm going to go with Tet and Ladd. The tight end, that's easy. I'm going to go with, and I think you asked me this question a couple of days ago, but I'm going to go with Kittle. And in the flex, I'm going to go with Bowers. In the flex, I'm going to go with Bowers over whatever running back that you have out now. If you wanted to use Rico instead of a Bowers, or you wanted to use a Junkins in the flex instead of a Kittle, or however you going to do that with your tight ends, that's fine too. But I would want to get Kittle and Bowers in. Those are elite tight ends, and they get 7 targets or better most weeks with a lot of touchdown upside. So I don't feel great about sitting these guys, especially with the matchup that they have. And the one defense I would play, since Hampton is out and the weather, I don't see what defenses you have. So I'm just gonna give you the flex, because I don't see any defenses that you have for me to help you start and sit. MVM says Texans or Browns. Okay, I got you right there. Let's keep it. Let's stay with the Texans. That's the #1 defense. Let's not get super cute. I know they playing the Indianapolis Colts, but I think that's a bad matchup for the coach, especially with Jonathan Taylor. I think they're going to funnel Jonathan Taylor in and keep him back 100+ yards. He could have one TD, but I don't think he's going to have a multi TD game. Either way, Browns with the weather could be good, but sometimes the weather could be overblown. These are NFL players. They got plenty of money to get the right cleats, to get the right gloves, to practice for the right situation. So I'm going to go with the Texans because it's the #1 defense. That's dancing with the girl that you came to the party with. Aaron Holloway, he says, good evening, TD. Good evening. Yes, sir. Tail Dog, what's up, bruh? Yes, sir, Aaron Holloway. I see you, Devo. I see you, Matt Carmody. Ninja says, should I drop Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, or John Mechie? I would drop probably Cedric Tillman. Louise says, flex Waller. I wouldn't. It depends on what my team is. I would play John Mechie in the flex over Waller. So it depends on what you have. Caleb Hamilton says, what up, TD? Who's your favorite college team? The Duke Blue Devils. The Duke Blue Devils. Matt says, would you play Dart or Brissett? I'm playing Brissett with 300-yard plus bonus and 40-yard touchdown bonus. Let me tell you why. Dart got a new offensive coordinator, and they said a couple weeks ago that they wasn't going to run him that way. And it makes sense. If I was a Mara, if I was a owner of a team, you're not going to run my quarterback into the ground and I go through another Daniel Jones situation. So that's why I want to hold off and see what Dart does with this new Mike Coffer and see what's going to happen, how they're going to deploy him. So I will go with Brissett, who's been on fire. Caleb says RJ Harvey or Diggs in a full PPR league. Let's go with RJ Harvey in a full PPR league. That's a running back who's going to get some goal line touches this week. B. Silver says Shakira, Wandale, Michael Wilson, Jennings. I need a boom. AJ Brown hurt me and I played Flowers. B. Silver, how did AJ Brown hurt you? Because if you didn't play him, that's on you, bro. That's a stud. That's a stud. It's nothing that nobody can tell me that why you sitting on AJ Brown. Not here at Fantasy Good Sports. So I just don't understand why you wouldn't play AJ Brown. You said AJ Brown hurt you. AJ Brown. Oh, you played against AJ Brown. Okay. I get it. You playing against AJ Brown. Okay, I get that. You said and played Flowers. Okay. That was a good play. You see Flowers had the touchdown. Sometimes it doesn't happen like that. So that was a good play. Don't feel bad that you played Flowers. He was getting the targets. Lamar didn't have a great game. The whole Baltimore offense outside of the Derrick Henry flopped. So I get it. But so let's get some boom. So this was what I'm going to say. If Marvin Harrison Jr. sits, play Michael Wilson. That's easy. If Marvin Harrison Jr. plays, I would probably go with Jennings over Rondell and Shakir. If the weather still looks like it's going to be bad tomorrow, then I would go with Shakir in a full PPR league. So it's going to be between Michael Wilson first. If Marvin Harrison Jr. is out, that's easy. If Marvin Harrison Jr. plays, then I would go to Jennings, down target around the greens, Brock Purdy. He's been scoring a lot of touchdowns the last couple of weeks since Brock Purdy's been there. And also when Matt Jones was there too. So I would go to Jennings. And again, if you don't feel good about Jennings because of the weather, then I would go with Shakir, a PPR monster. Dean James Tallis says Vidal or Charbonnet this week, TD. We're going with Vidal. Matt Carmody says, I was able to snag Terry McLaurin off waivers a few weeks ago. Been holding on to him. Great job. Cutting edge content, Matt. Cutting edge content, Matt. G. Santos says Juwan Johnson or Gaddison. Okay, so let me tell you what you up against. When you got Gaddison, that is a guy that can boom as the elite tight end. He can boom like George Kittle, Travis Kelce, Brock Bowers type, Trey McBride. That's what he can do. Also, he can go out there for 3 targets and only get 18 yards because he has Lad McConkey, he has Quentin Johnson, he has Keenan Allen to fight targets with. Juwan Johnson is going to get 7 or 8 targets no matter what. No matter if Alvin Kamara comes back, and no matter if Devin Neal is balling out, no matter if Taysom Hill is at quarterback, Juwan Johnson is going to be out there and getting all the snaps. So the safe play is Juwan Johnson. If you are winning, if you have a winning record, you kind of in the playoffs, you're a top 3, top 4 team, I'm going to tell you to keep pushing the gas and go with Gaddison for the upside. But if you're in a must win and you need a safe floor to keep catching up, to keep points on the board, go with Juwan Johnson. Matt Carmody says sit one among Parker Washington, Charbonnet, or DK half PPR with bonuses. Okay. I would sit DK. I would sit DK. Charbonnet is a goal line back. We know Kenneth Walker looked good the other week, but Charbonnet is a goal line back, and he can always come in and get a touchdown. DK, the way he gets his is not through catching 7 or 8 passes. It's usually a one big play and a punt return. That's a lot to overcome to make sure that he gives you a good outing. Parker Washington, even though Brian Thomas is playing, you got Jacoby Myers there. I'm still okay with Parker Washington because Trevor Lawrence do trust Parker Washington. So I like Parker Washington a little bit over DK because of how shitty the Titans play. Michael White, he said, would you start Dolphins defense this week? Marks at the flex spot? Yes, I think it's okay to play the Dolphins defense if you need to. And I'll say Woody Marks at the flex spot is okay. Woody Marks is going to get 15 to 20 touches, probably at least 15. And he's going to catch some passes too. The only things that hurts Marks is Nick Chubb on the goal line. I just want to make sure y'all can still hear me. Ain't nothing crazy happen. Caleb Hamilton. What's up, Caleb? He says, I also have Judkins. Would you play him at all over RJ Harvey or Diggs? I can see you playing him over Diggs. So what do you like? Do you want the running back for the goal line touch? Because Judkins going to get an opportunity to probably score on the goal line. That's going to be his fantasy points. I don't think he's going to break a long run. He could. He has the pedigree to do it. You see what he did against Green Bay about 5 or 6 weeks ago, maybe even longer, probably 7 weeks ago. He did really good against the Green Bay Packers, who has a good run defense. So you can put Judkins over Diggs. It depends on what you want. Me, I'm an RB guy, and I don't mean RB guy. What I mean is when it's close, I'm trying to get the goal line, green zone, honey touches. Those how you get fantasy points. We've seen people be a top 5 running back off of 800 yards, 900 yards, but he had 15 touchdowns. So touchdowns is what you follow. If that's what you're trying to get you that boom. So I think Judkins has more touchdown upside than Diggs, but I think Diggs can get 7 points off of just catches by himself. Does he get the touchdown? I don't know. Ask Drake May. Drake May seems to distribute the ball like a Tom Brady. He don't have a number 1 to me. So I think if you want to, you can play Judkins for the green zone and honey touches in the green zone over Diggs. And that's a good question because it's full PPR, so I understand why you putting Diggs up against Judkins. Let's get the likes up, fellas. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. This is cutting edge content. You're not going to see this type of fantasy football content nowhere on YouTube platform where a guy is vlogging about starts and sits, sleepers, all the above of fantasy, keeping it real, keeping it authentic, not trying to fake any studio stuff, not calling studios fake. Because I'm not hating on nobody that got a studio. That's why they killing it. But me, I don't need that. I'm TD. I'm from the barbershop. I'm from the Looker House. I'm real. I'm authentic. It is what it is. This is the way I like doing content, and I think it's cutting edge this way. I think it's more personable this way. Intelligente, what's up, bruh? He says, is Taysom Hill the goal line option for the Saints while Alvin Kamara is injured? Who knows, bruh? That's something that only the coaches knows. That's something that only Kellen Moore knows. Yes, would he probably be deployed there? Yes, but this is a big game to watch to see what Devin Neal does, because I believe that Taysom Hill and Devin Neal can get theirs. I believe they both can get theirs. Pause. So we just gonna have to just gonna have to watch it and see if we like what's going on. If you feel comfortable playing any of these other guys, like, do you feel comfortable playing Devin Neal when Taysom Hill can come in the green zone? Probably not. Maybe you don't like that, and that's fine. That's why I like to present y'all with all the facts and the data and put it in your hands to make it. Because I might feel like, yeah, you got to play this guy. That's easy. Devin Neal all day. You might be like, I'm not playing nobody who's not getting goal line snaps. That's why I like to put it in y'all hands and let y'all make the decision, because we all have different mentalities and can make very good, smart moves according to what you're trying to deploy on your fantasy team. B Silver, what's up, bruh? He says, I don't know if I should play Bowers either at the flex. Not sure if the play caller being fired helps the Raiders offense. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you this. I guarantee you that this guy gets 8 targets. I guarantee you that. I can't guarantee you the points. I can't guarantee you the touchdown, but I guarantee the points. And I have to big time disagree with you. And bro, if he get less than 7 or 8, if he get 4 or 5 targets or something like that, bro, I will come back and say, bro, you was right. My bad. Because I'm standing strong on it. I'm standing 10 toes down on that one. Usually I don't, depending on what data you present to me. But we not gonna talk about Brock not getting targets. There's no way. That's not. I got logic, and logic does not say that you get fired. You fire the most expensive offensive coordinator in the game, and then you don't get Brock Bowers, who is probably one of the best weapon on your team over Gentry. So I know he's going to get a lot of targets, but is it going to be valuable targets to give you what you can get in the flex? It cannot be. Not sure if the play caller being fired helps the Raiders offense. Other options, Wandale Jennings, Michael Wilson. Again, Michael Wilson should be the play if Marvin Harrison Jr. is out. If Marvin Harrison Jr. plays, then in my mind, in order to get Michael Wilson on the team or in my lineup, he should be a wide receiver 3 or a flex. That way you can, if he give you 10 or 12 points, you're happy with it. But don't start Michael Wilson and say, hey, he didn't give me the boom this week, so he got let down. Like, we can't hold him to that same standard when Marvin Harrison Jr. is coming back, even if Marvin Harrison Jr. is not 100%. So it's easy, Michael Wilson. Then, like I said, we go to Jennings. And if you don't like Jennings because of the weather, then I would go to Shakir over Rondale with Jackson Dart throwing it to Rondale. Hennessy Black says, drop Tootin for Chris Rodriguez last week. And I get it. And you probably had to drop somebody to get Chris, so I'm fine. I don't think Tootin is a drop, but if you got to drop somebody. So I don't know what the rest of your team look like. That's why I tell y'all to get consultations that I provide, because I get to assess your team. And sometimes I'm telling you something here and stand on it for the whole year when I have no clue how your team is. And if I actually knew your whole team, I would tell you a different situation. That's how it is. Guys that follow me are getting better with providing certain data details. A lot of the stuff don't provide all the details because it doesn't matter. It could be redundant. But certain details does matter of how I'm going to put your starts and sits in, and by you just listening to, because you've been listening to me a long time, Hennessy, you can understand. So if you drop Tootin, that was the weakest guy on your team. If that's the weakest guy on your team, that's a great job. But I do like Chris Rodriguez going forward for the rest of the year, especially when Jaden Daniels comes back next week. Voltron says, Devin Neal lacks NFL experience. The floor is rock bottom with Taysom Hill, but we know the ceiling is very high. Right. So playing them this week, you got to be open-minded. You got to be willing to go down with the ship, because we don't know. So sometimes you have to play players and you don't know what's going to happen. Every time that you go and hang out with a friend, female or whatever, and y'all doing y'all thing, you're not going to always get to see everything that you need to see before you make big time decisions, if you get where I'm going with this. But I would prefer to see it, but sometimes you can't, man. It just depends on, you might be in the car in the back of an alley because y'all just want to slide off real quick, do your thing. You never know. I get it. So when it comes to um waiting on Devin Neal, it could be 5 points or it could be 25. We don't know. It's an opportunity for him though. Sean Daniels says Kittle, Fannin, Gaddison, which one to start? We're gonna go with Kittle over Fannin and Gaddison. Gaddison got a lot of upside, but this is Kittle. George Kittle is a top 3 tight end, if you ask me. I'm just talking about for his talent. It's Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, however you want to do that, and then I would say Kittle. Actually, Travis Kelce went down because he's older. But Kittle's still up there like number 3. If Kittle wouldn't have got hurt this year, he probably would be the number 2 or number 1 tight end. Hennessy Black says, thank you. Anytime, bruh. Dean J. Taylor says, Woody Marks or Kenneth Walker? Let's go with Kenneth Walker. Let's go with Kenneth Walker over Woody Marks. B. Silver says, Keenan Allen or Woody? I would go with Woody because of the touchdown upside that he does have, and also the matchup is not that terrible for him to score. So I like Woody. Keenan Allen is a lot of mouths to feed over there. So outside of Ladd, Keenan Allen, and Gaddison, sometimes you can go to another player and play those guys over them because you like, I hope he gets it this week, but he could not. But Woody, we know Woody's going to get 15 touches. We know that. He says, does the Vikings third string quarterback help Aaron Jones? Who knows? But I would say no, and I wouldn't want to start Aaron Jones with a backup quarterback. But the backup quarterback can come in and have a great game. You remember what was the rookie quarterback? Will Levis came out there and balled out against a good defense. It could happen. But I would rather go to the safer side, and I wouldn't play Aaron Jones with a rookie quarterback. Mid Hayes, what's up, bro? He says, don't sleep on the Browns in this weather. I'm not. Guys, I picked the Browns to win the game. Now, Shadur might not go for 250 yards now, and 2 TDs. He might go for 160 because of the weather, but I'm still banking on Shadur Sanders. I'm still starting Shadur Sanders. I still think Jerry Jeudy going to have a good game, and I still think Harold Fannin going to have a good game. And Quinshawn could have one fall-in touchdown, but they will try to stop the run game. That's how I'm not going to let a rookie be able to beat me because they get the run game going. I'm going to make the rookie beat me because he got to beat me on the 3rd and 8s and 3rd and 9s and 3rd and 10s and 3rd and 12s. I'm not going to be in 3rd and 2s and 3rd and 1s. That's how a rookie quarterback can beat you. So I believe they're going to try to take Quinshawn away, but sometimes you can't take him away. So fantasy, we have to make tough decisions. So I agree, man. The Browns can win this game. Matt Carmody says, a new play call in Las Vegas after firing Chip Kelly. Hopefully Bowers and Genty will get fed. And we can say that. They're going to get fed. But do they get touchdowns and have a boom game? No, probably not. Well, they can. But they're going to get a lot of value. And you're going to be able to see that. And it's going to be very obvious with the new offensive coordinator. Bro, he can't. This is like, say you are at a job, you've been there working 5 years, and say the supervisor has been coming in late every now and then he comes in late and he gets fired or suspended. You know one thing, you better not come in late. Now, you may make a mistake with counting the inventory or setting something up or a machine, and they okay with that because you're learning. But you better not be late. And so that's the same thing that the offensive coordinator is thinking. He better not go out there and don't give the ball to Genty and don't give the ball to Bowers. You would be fired the next week. Get Silly says, yo, what's up, Get Silly? What's up, bro? Mon Hayes says, Purdy can't put any zip on the ball with that toe. His passes are sailing. Yeah. Also, he's rusty, too. I get that. That's why I like the Cleveland Browns. And listen, man, I'm going to tell y'all something. The Cleveland Browns, if they'd have made this decision 3-4 weeks ago, they probably go to the playoffs. I said what I said. I'm standing on that. They waited to make the move. I don't think they wanted to go to the playoffs. I think they want a top pick. I really believe that. They want to talk. They was like, nah, man, we're going to keep starting him because Shadur might win games. Now that they know they out of the playoffs, let's start Shadir. Dean James says Texans or Chargers DST this week. Let's go with the Chargers DST. Even though I think that the Las Vegas Raiders players, rookies, are going to get fed more, I still, because of Geno and how they played, I think it could be different. So I don't want you to play the Chargers DST and go into a trap. But I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to go with the Chargers. They playing against the Las Vegas Raiders. The Texans, I love the Texans, but I do think Daniel Jones can put up a decent outing, at least 17 to 21 points against the Houston Texans. Get silly. Cutting edge content. Okay, I got it, B. Silver. I understand that. He said played against AJ. I got it. Hennessy Black says Brock Purdy looked like Dan Orlovsky last week. Hennessy Black says ETN been doing good, but I'm tempted to play Vidal over him in the flex. Listen, it's getting cute because ETN been playing good for you. But if you want to do that, I understand. I don't think you can go wrong playing Vidal or ETN because of the matchup. So I'm not gonna sit here and chastise you about playing Vidal over ETN. Dean James Tally says trade Ibuka or Harvey for Trey McBride for a playoff. Trade Ibuka or Harvey. Yes, I would trade Ibuka for Trey McBride. I would trade Ibuka for Trey McBride. Both sit on my bench because I have better players, or do we trust Loveland through the playoffs? No, go ahead and get Trey McBride. Yes, sir. Trade Ibuka and go to Dean James Tally in a redraft league. Don't do it in Dynasty unless it's super tight and premium. B. Silver says, do we temper expectations on the Chargers passing game tomorrow? Maybe more of a run game. Start one, Jennings or Gaddison. Yes, but no. Like, yes, the game script would say that Vidal could have a 2 touchdown or 1 touchdown with 80 yards. But don't forget, this is a passing team. This is Justin Herbert. So somebody's going to get those targets. It's going to be Keenan Allen, it's going to be Ladd, or it's going to be QJ or Gaddison. Somebody's going to get it. Start one, I'm going with Jennings over Gaddison and Waller. But again, I'm going to do more research. I'm not going to tell y'all to sit studs over hearing weather on a Saturday. But tomorrow morning, once I look at it and the weather still looks like it's going to be bad, then maybe we can adjust. But right now, we're going to play our stud. We're going to dance with the girl that we came to the party with. Even though she spilled something on her dress and you feeling a little insecure about it. Got a super chat from the one and only. I say Big Will in the house. Watch your mouth. What's up, bro? He said, what's good, bro? We still going Ladd over Ibuka. We still going with Ladd over Ibuka. Also, Judkins versus San Francisco or Jalen Warren versus Buffalo. I would say Judkins versus San Francisco because Jalen Warren versus Buffalo, I like Kenneth Gainwell. Kenneth Gainwell seems to have the sauce, man, and that makes it where it's like a committee. And so I don't know if Jalen Warren just a must start every week. Maybe he can get his by being in a good committee and just getting his touchdowns. But I would rather play, like, I know Sampson is not going to come in and get a goal line touch over Judkins unless Judkins just straight out tired or he fumbled or something. So I would go with Judkins over Jalen Warren. And I would play Ladd over Ibuka. Appreciate the super chat, homie. I love y'all guys, man. Y'all show support to me, man. I appreciate it, guys. To the 100 degree. I'm a very loyal person. I'm loyal to a fault. And I love to be around loyal people. It makes my brain think outside the box. I seem to be able to come up with cutting edge moves outside of even fantasy football. It don't got to be fantasy. So, man, I just want to show appreciation for all the people who sit and super chat and listen to me and take my advice. Jake, 2012 graduate. What's going on, bruh? He says Darren Waller gonna be a sneak. He definitely can. Darren Waller definitely can. Yes, if I needed to stream a tight end this week and Gaddison wasn't out there, now it's a lot of guys that I'm streaming over Waller. But would I play Waller over Washington, Darnell Washington? I probably would. Even though Washington is a sleeper on my list, I didn't want to put Darren Waller as a sleeper because he ain't no sleeper. We see what he did when he was healthy. He balled out. So I don't want to put him as a sleeper. But I would play Waller over Darnell Washington. B Silver says, we did that one already. Okay. Caleb says, I have Josh Jacobs, CD, AJ Brown already locked into my lineup. Okay. The Jacobs was fine. I know I told some people to sit Jacobs, but you went down with the ship. That was a good play, man. That's why you see how CD Lamb and AJ Brown protected you with Jacobs. So you don't need everybody to go off. I think this is a teacher moment. A lot of you are trying, and you should try to make sure you're getting the best players in who can all give you booms. But we know that's likely that everybody's gonna boom. So you want to have players that can support a guy. If you want to be able to put a stud in there that may have a bad week, may have an injury a couple of weeks ago, and they supported Josh Jacobs. He says, planning to start Kyron, Henderson, and RJ Harvey too. I have Diggs and Judkins on the bench. Should I put them in or just keep it? Nope. I don't see nobody that you should put over Kyron. I don't see nobody that you should put over Henderson. Diggs is nice. Judkins is nice, but I can't put Judkins in over Kyron. I can't put Judkins in over Henderson. I can't put him in over RJ Harvey when it could be close. I think you made the right decisions. KL says, would you drop Ertz for Darren Waller? No, not with Jaden Daniels coming back. No, I would keep Ertz. I would try to stash Waller because I don't want nobody else to pick him up. But Ertz with Jaden Daniels is a top 5 tight end. KL says, would you stash that Dylan Simpson? Yes, I would. KL says, Harold Fanning Jr. or Darren Waller? I'm going with Harold Fanning Jr. rest of the season over Darren Waller. Voltron says the major difference between Rodriguez and Bill is Rodriguez runs with power. Bill does not. It's important that running backs fight through contact, break tackles. Bruh, the cutting edge content. That's gonna be my new thing. When I tell you cutting edge content, you killed it. That's like my highest level of giving you like, hey man, you speaking facts. I agree with that. Big Sarge says, hey bro, should I start Drake May or Bo Nix? I'm Drake May all day. That's easy. Bandit says, likely looks good over in Baltimore. Is he fantasy relevant? I say yes. Yes, he's fantasy relevant. Let me tell you something, and you might disagree. He's always been fantasy relevant. As far as the points and the output, no. That's what y'all got to be able to see. Let me tell you something. Say I'm a producer and I make movies. Do you think I gotta only see Cameron Diaz and George Clooney as great actors? No. In order to be great as a producer for movies or videos, I have to be able to see people who are out here in the hole in the wall clubs. Eddie Murphy, hole in the wall clubs. Dave Chappelle, hole in the wall clubs. A lot of talent out here from females, J-Lo, they were hole in the wall talents. Same thing when they live in color. Jim Carrey, hole in the wall talent. Jamie Foxx, hole in the when Jamie Foxx had won some pageants. Not pageants, but he had won some talent contests. But basically, guys, you got to be able to see a guy that he's talented before the points hit. If not, you only waiting on sloppy seconds. You waiting for somebody to drop a player and you're going to lose in fantasy. You got to be able to stash these guys early. Wait now, I've been having likely stash in leagues that I could help. Sometimes I had to drop them, but now I got him. So, because I knew that he had the talent, it just, when Lamar and him was going to get on the same page. So, yes, man, likely it's been fantasy relevant the whole time. It's just about being patient with him so you can deploy him at the right time. Mr. YTZ, what's up, bruh? He says, what up, TD? Darren Waller of Hunter Henry? I'm going to go with Hunter Henry, man. He's been on fire. Drake May has a good matchup. I'm going to go with Hunter Henry. Love Darren Waller. I think you should stash him. We probably could say that Darren Waller is going to be better rest of the season after tomorrow. But right now, I got to go with Hunter Henry. Isaiah says, who leaves the carrot live on YouTube? I don't know who leaves the carrot live on YouTube. I don't know about that. Caleb says, I appreciate all the insight, brother. 10-2 and secured the #1 spot in my home league with your help. Wish me luck catching the bag. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, guys. Looks like I'm getting ready to get out of here. All right, guys. Y'all be safe. Listen, I want to go live like at 9 and 10, but I don't know. I don't like my phone. I don't like it. I don't want to go late live and have a bunch of people here and my phone is not up to the standards. So I wanted to see what it was going to do today. It hasn't faded out. It hasn't blacked out. I'm still waiting on my new phone. It hasn't showed up yet. So that's another thing. But let me see. I got a couple new chats in here. Let's see. Appreciate that, Big Will. Caleb says, I appreciate all the... Okay, we got that. Mike says, G, you like Pitt defense? No, not really. I mean, they are decent. They got some good outings when they get turnovers, but I'm not big on Pitt's defense. King Sirius says, is Rodgers is a reasonable streamer for you if you're struggling at quarterback? Yes. Almost anybody is, bro. You got to play somebody. So I don't know who else is out there. But yes, I do think Rodgers is good enough to throw it to DK 2 times for a touchdown or throw it, just have 2 touchdowns in fantasy. Mike says, or San Francisco defense. I can't say that because, listen, I get it from an outside point of view, but I think Shadur is going to have a great game, even with the bad weather. I think they're going to win the game. So it's hard for me to go and talk and counter at what like have an oxymoron when I'm saying that I think the Cleveland Browns are going to win the game, but tell you to start them. If I didn't think Cleveland was going to win the game, I think San Francisco will be a good start against a rookie quarterback. But I don't see it that way, so I got to stay with that. So I'm going to say no. I would probably play the Pitt defense over the San Francisco defense. But that's just me, though. That doesn't mean that you have to do that. That's just me because my prediction and my estimation is saying that I think Shadur's going to have a good game. I think the Cleveland Browns are going to win the game. Mike says, G, you like Knicks at Washington? Yes, I do, but I don't know how they're going to score, man. It's hard to follow the Denver Broncos. It's hard to follow how they are going to score. It could be Troy Franklin. It could be R.J. Harvey. Bo Nix could run it in. I don't know, but I do think Nix is a good start if you have him against Washington. Yeah, I will play him over Aaron Rodgers. Mike says, G, you killing it. Go 49ers in their snow. I don't know, man. Cleveland is a tough team, and like they can play in the snow. So, but yeah, thank you, bro. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go with Cleveland, bro. I'm going down with the ship. I'm going down with the ship, bro. Let me know Monday, and see how that works. Like I know then. I'm like, hey, bro, you was right. Shadur, that he wasn't ready for that. Skills says Dart or Purdy. I'm going with Dart because Purdy going against the Cleveland Browns defense, and that's Myles Garrett in the snow. I got to go with Dart. G Santos says Ladd or Harvey in the flex. I'm going to go with Harvey right now. It could change, but I'm going with Harvey. I'm going with the RB. I'm going to trust it, man. There's no way you got J.K. Dobbins out. McLaughlin is still there, but you're gonna take Harvey out and give McLaughlin the touchdown. I don't see that. It could happen. I love Ladd a lot, but we all know that Keenan Allen may not get more targets, but Keenan Allen can have the touchdown. QJ could have 2 touchdowns. It could be a Gaddison game. Vidal could get everything. So I like Ladd. Ladd is a top 12, top 14, top 16 type wide receiver. So I like to start him, but Harvey opportunity is golden with the matchup against the Washington Commanders, who's been giving it up behind the dumpster. So I'm gonna go with Harvey. I'm gonna go with the RB in this situation. But if you went with Lad, I'm not gonna be mad at you. Some things aren't a direct answer, man. It really ain't. In fantasy, some guys are just kind of the same guys, even though they might be at different positions. So I'm gonna go with Harvey. JG says I have Harvey, Gainwell, Bowers, Wandell, and he has CMC, Charbonnet, Kincaid. Do I win? I'm down 33-67. So you got Harvey, you got Gainwell going, you got Bowers, you got Wandell in your Wandell and Myers, and he has CMC, Charbonnet, Kincaid. I think you can win, but this is what you're gonna have to happen. I think you need Bowers to boom to help keep CMC in place, but he still got CMC to go. You must be in a 14 or a 16 team lead in order to be starting Myers. Tell me what else is on your roster or on waivers, Jay-Z, if you can. Oh, okay. Okay, let me go. Okay, yeah, there we go. Mike Shamhart says, Super Chat in the building. Yes, sir. Skills says Harvey or Dowdle. Man, that's tough. I was saying Dowdle earlier, like Monday and Tuesday. I was thinking Dowdle, but right now, man, I want to go with Harvey against the Washington Commanders. But like I said, it can change. But I'm going to go with Harvey over Dowdle in a full PPR league. If it was half-point PPR, I think that could change my mindset, and I would go with Dowdle. But Harvey, I expect Harvey to catch 5 passes, a lot more passes than Dowdle. So that's why full PPR makes me want to go with Harvey, and he's going to get probably a couple goal line opportunities. Dowdle, to me, is just goal line opportunities. Not a really lot of catches. He might get a catch or two, but Chuba Hubbard is usually in there in third down because Chuba Hubbard is one of the best pass blocking running backs in the whole NFL. He's ranked number 1 when it comes to blocking in the NFL. Mike Shamhart says, I need the 49ers to welcome Sanders to the NFL. Woo! His dad was a primetime 49er. Yes, he was. G Santos says, word, appreciate it, fam. Anytime. King Sirius says, Higgins' time is coming. You think we might see him boom in the 4th quadrant? No. I mean, it can happen, but I think once CJ Stroud comes back, I think it's going to be more of a Dalton Schultz and a Nico Collins. But Higgins he's definitely worth a stash, bro, where it's no clear number 2 wide receiver. Number 2 tight end, yeah, he's the tight end. He's good outside of Nico, but who's the number 2 wide receiver? We don't know. It could be Higgins. So definitely stash him if you can. But I don't know if he breaks out in the 4th quadrant. Mike says, go Ohio State. Yes, man. Y'all might buy another championship again this year. Jay-Z says, Jason Myers is my kicker and Cam Dicker is his. Right. Yeah, man, it's going to be tough, man. He has CMC, and he's up already by 30. You need somebody to boom and go outside of their trajectory. T-Bit says, are the Commanders doing a rebuild? No. They just need a couple more pieces to come back. They're not doing a rebuild. They just need a couple more pieces. They got Terry McLaurin, who's going to be there for 3 or 4 more years. They got Debo, who's going to be there for a couple more years. Zach Ertz could retire, but he's still a good player. They got a good backup tight end with Ben Sinnott. Chris Rodriguez may be there. They might even draft another running back in the late rounds again and try to make everybody compete for the starter. They got a good team. They need they need a pass rusher. They need somebody who can get to the quarterback. They need maybe a corner or a safety. They just need a couple more pieces. Skill says Sutton or Mechie. I'm going with Mechie. Listen, Sutton is a good player, man. As a starter, man, you know what? I'm going to say Sutton, man. He's a good starter, but I'm low on Sutton, and that makes me be biased when I tell y'all to sit him because he's just an average player for average points. If he goes for 18, 19, does that really make him a good player when you got players that are third string guys that's doing putting up the same amount of points that he's putting up? I need wide receivers who can go 30 point, 40 point. J-Mo, Sutton was drafted before J-Mo. But you see what J-Mo could do. Even though J-Mo would dud you, he's still going to outscore Sutton for the whole season. J-Mo's going to have more duds than Sutton this year. But guess who's going to score more points? J-Mo. That's why I always tell y'all about the boom. I just think Sutton is a trap wide receiver where he's going to be safe certain weeks and he could get hot in the margin with giving you 17, 18. But don't let that trick you to make you think that you got a good player when you get beat. You will never know why you got beat. Because you'll be like, well, Sutton gave me 16. Guess what? For his draft capital, that ain't shit. You needed him to boom a couple times. You could have maybe been the number 1 seed instead of the 4 seed. Then you got to play against a tough matchup. So I don't like playing Sutton because I think he's too safe. If that makes sense. You know how people are in relationship. Man, I don't want to be with him. He just safe and he don't want to go out nowhere. Nobody likes safe people. A woman sitting around in the bed and you can't touch her hair, don't touch this. She just want to be closed in. It's too safe. Right? It's too safe. So I'm gonna go with Mechie, man. For full PPR with Tyrod Taylor. And they should be in garbage time. They should throw the ball a little bit more. I think also RJ Harvey could take some touchdowns from Sutton. Sutton usually is a good goal line because he's tall guy. It could happen. But like I said, the stud is Sutton. So if you want to dance with the girl that you came to the party with, that's what I always say. You could play Sutton. But if you want to get cute, per se, as I say, and I think this is a situation where you can, I will go with Mechie. Mike Shamhart says, G, you think Scary Terry will be back to the number 1 in Washington? Yes, because he can play, man. If you see the games that he's active, it was a difference for that team. Skill says Sanders or Dart. With the weather, I'm going to say Dart right now, but I could change back to Sanders depending on how bad I think the weather, because sometimes we think the weather going to be bad, and then we's like, well, it should be leaving in by 5 minutes before game time, and this is what's going to be going on, and the wind is going to die down by the second quarter. Then I might probably keep going with Sanders, but right now I'm going to go with Dart because I just need to pay attention to the weather and see what's going to happen. Mike says, you like Ladd or Warren from Pittsburgh in the flex? I like Ladd over Warren because of Kenneth Gainwell. T-Bit says, is there really any clear team Ayuk is going to go? The Washington Commanders. So you're going to have Debo, Brandon Ayuk, and Terry McLaurin. I think he wants to play with his quarterback from Arizona State, which is Jaden Daniels. I think he could go there. Also, let me tell you something. I'm older than you, Brandon Ayuk. I'm an unk, and I get it. I'm not going to chastise you too much because money don't buy me either. And I ain't going to no job just because they're giving me $20 million if I don't want to be there. But, bruh, first of all, you're not running around and banging your head and your body and getting your knees broke down for free. Bruh, go get that damn $25 million. Show up. You needed to show up. I just think you needed that money. One day you're going to think about that money. Bro, it's Jerry Jones would hurt if he lost $20 million. He'd be like, damn, I lost $20 million? Well, $20 million is big time money. If you just got that $20 million, you never got no more money for the rest of your life, it can last you. It can last 2 generations, you and your kids. So for you to avoid that money, I think that's young. I just think that's young, man. Sometimes you just got to level up, man, to go get that money. Like right now, I love doing YouTube. And this is different because I don't hate my job, but I'm not leaving a paycheck. And listen, my paycheck is pennies, according to what he got. I'm not leaving that paycheck on the table. I can't do it. Uke, what's up? Uke 7968. He says, howdy. Start 2. QJ, Alec Pierce, or Jordan Addison. I'm gonna go with Alec Pierce and QJ. Alec Pierce and QJ. Vamos says, I clinched a playoff spot. Way to go, Vamos. Yes, sir. Good shit. Good shit. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to try to go live later. Peace. Bandit says, third question in a row. Ignored, I am subscribed, and a little confused. Third Bandit, Bandit? Guys, let me know if I skipped Bandit's question. Bruh, Bandit, what question? No, wait a minute, I'm not going to get ahead of it. What question did I skip over? Bandit, what question did I skip over? T-Bit says he handled the contract so bad, and if he wanted to go to the Commanders, they could have traded him to somewhere in a draft pick instead of Commanders having to sign him in free agency. Right. Big facts. But Ben, I need to know what question that I skipped over. Sports Dog says TD 100 team PPR Superflex. I picked up Vidal and Rodriguez. I still have in my flex both Shakir and Marks. Any change in my lineup? I still have in my flex both Shakir and Marks. I would play Vidal over Shakir. I would play Vidal over Shakir or Marks, but I think Vidal needs to be in your lineup with the matchup that he has. But yeah, Bandit, okay. Mooney Henderson. No, but what question did I skip over? You said I skipped the. You said third question in a row ignored. Which one did I ignore? Matt Comedy says, thanks again, man. Appreciate you answering the questions. Thanks anytime. Thank you, Sports Dog. What? Because I'm gonna answer that question, Bandit, but I want to know which one did I skip over. Because if you leave or you get a commercial and you come back and I already answered the question, that's different. And you didn't say that. So I hold people accountable because I go through all the questions. I can't let people troll me because I'm trying to get to doing that, right? So this is a sensitive thing because I'm trying to go through all the questions. So when people say I skipped it, yes, and I did not skip that. Ask everybody in the chat. I want everybody in the chat. Y'all remember that question that I said about likely? What did I say about likely? And here you go right here. I see it up here earlier. I seen the... Okay, there you go. Okay, hold on. Let me find it. I saw it earlier. I was going up. Yeah, it says likely looks good over in Baltimore. Is he fantasy relevant? Bro, I went on a tangent with that for 5 minutes. I talked about, yes. Likely's always been fantasy relevant. So I want people in the chat to say it. Guys, y'all remember when I went on the tangent and I said likely has always been fantasy relevant. Even if he isn't getting the output in points, he still is a guy that needs to be stashed because you can see how the offense is flowing and you see what they did in off season by giving him a contract. Thank you, Skills. He said, yes, you did. You see that, Bandit? Skills said it. T-Bit says, I just got here. I'm sure you answered it, but because I got here, I missed it. My bad. You good, T-Bit. Skills says, thank you for your help. I'm trying to send a super chat. I'm trying to set my card up. It's all good, bro. And the only reason why, listen, I'm not trying to call you out in the chat, but I want you to know that everybody here tell you, I go questions. Bro, I do. So when I miss, sometimes I do miss. And I want to hold myself accountable, but I can't hold myself accountable if I didn't. So I just wanted to find out, just, sometimes you might have to go back, bro. And or what some of the other subscribers do is say, hey, TD, man, I apologize if you already asked this, but I'm gonna ask you again because I might have missed it. I went away and I keep flowing and we'll get to it. But if you say that I missed your question and I didn't answer, and this is the third time, I have to reflect with that. There's nothing wrong with you calling me out if I'm doing that, but I just want to make sure what's the truth, what happened. Okay. Tron says I had 67% chance to win, but Barkley, Devontae, and Goddard only got me 20 points. Now I have a 46 chance of winning. Yeah, man, listen. Barkley wasn't a bad play. Devontae wasn't a bad play, or Goddard. Now, I didn't want to play Goddard. I don't like Goddard. Goddard is another trap tight end. So I don't play a lot of Goddard. But if Devontae was out, which they was talking about him being out, maybe Goddard would have been a good play. So I might have would have got to another tight end. But Barkley and Devontae are always good starts. When you play, and if you pick them, that's why I want y'all to go down with the ship for whoever you pick. Just like if you pick a girlfriend, you cannot go over your mama house and say, Mama, you see that little ear? I'm not attracted by that. I don't want to hug her. Your mama gonna talk shit to you. If you don't want to be with that girl, you should have broke up. If you don't want to play your players, don't draft them. So if you don't like what Devontae Smith is doing, then don't draft him. If you don't like what Barkley is doing, don't draft him. But you drafted them, so you got to play them. When you commit to these players in fantasy, you most of the time you got to stay with them unless you trade them week 1 or the week 2. After that, everybody kind of knows what's going on. Well, nobody want Justin Jefferson right now because we all know what's going to happen, right? So you should not regret drafting Justin Jefferson. So I think you're going to be fine, man. And whatever happens, happens. It just happens sometimes. I'm going to lose in some leagues for the same reason. I had Lamar Jackson. It is what it is. Not complaining at all. Okay, let me get back to Bandit's question. Bandit says Mooney, Henderson, or Waddle for the flex. I'm going with Henderson over Mooney and Waddle. T-Bit says TK going to retire or is he going to stay another year? Who is TK, man? I'm sorry, man. Listen, when you do fantasy football and you got a lot of stuff on your not on your mind, but a lot of stuff that data you are keeping, the acronyms confuse me. So let me know who's TK is. Tron says better play out of Bo Nix and Jackson Dart. Like I said, I'm gonna go with Bo Nix, bro, because I need to see Jackson Dart with his new offensive coordinator. My opponent has Wandale. Who has the most upside? Old school Dart running around has the most upside, probably top 3 in fantasy, like a Josh Allen, Travis Kelce. Okay, he has Jackson Dart. If he was running around like he was before the concussion, he would probably be a top 3 quarterback. But with this new offensive coordinator, I can't rank him and I can't give him a lot of upside because I don't know. Hopefully he keeps it. And I had a subscriber who, it might have been you, Tron. You was like, TD, man, why you getting off Jackson Dart? Just because they said that? You made me think about it. And I'm still thinking about it to this day. I'm still a little bit nervous about that. So, but I need to see it first. So I would go with Bo Nix. T-Bit says TK is Travis Kelce going to retire or is he going to stay another year? I think he's retiring. Listen, he's in love mode, bro. And y'all get it. He's almost 40 years old and he's in the love mode. So he don't want to play no football. He's trying, and I hate to say this, and I'm being all respectful, he's trying to make love to his wife and have babies. And it's hard for a man to make love to his wife and have babies and be able to go out in football and get somebody to knock your head off. Because you could be in the bed laid up with your beautiful wife, trying to make a baby, feeling great, but you gotta get your head knocked off and then your shoulder messed up for the rest of your life. So I think he retires after this year because Taylor Swift puts that pressure on him. Like, listen, you don't need the money. You already a champion. I'm gonna give you, even if we divorce, I'm gonna give you $100 million. I'm gonna sign that as a prenup. I'm gonna give you $100 million. And I'm gonna buy everything. Like, she gonna buy everything. All he gotta do is just be a man and buy flowers and stuff. She gonna pay for the bills in the house. She gonna pay for all the trips. He just gotta pay for the food. and I ain't talking no shit to him because that's Taylor Swift who got $1 billion. Let me see here. Super chat from the one and only Skills Brill. Appreciate that, bruh. Skills be real. Appreciate that, Skills. Matt Comedy says, I stuck with JMO after he had 0 points last week. And I'm not doing that because JMO was my guy. I love that you showed strength through the process. This is almost like you walking around, you are a producer, you're a music producer, and you see a man out there homeless. He said, hey man, you got a dollar? Look, I'm gonna play a tune for you. And he start playing a tune. You like, damn, man, you sound good. What's your name? Da 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 da. And you take them with you to another producer to try to get it to hit, and it works. And that was hard. This is a dude that was on the streets. J-Mo, in order for you to play J-Mo after he gave you 0 points, now you might have a good record, so that might make it easier. But that's called cutting edge content. Most people are so in this world, and I'm talking about relationships, I'm talking about friendships. If you fart, people will leave you. So And I see it all the time in fantasy. If you give somebody, they give you outside of Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, if somebody gives you 5 points or a zero, most people drop them the next week. But you didn't do that. That's cutting edge content. Sometimes you gotta ride the roller coaster with the players, and sometimes you got to ride the roller coaster with good people that are in your life. But make sure they're good people. It's a lot to do with age. It comes to you better. Like you can see past bullshit. Because some people will be fake to you just to act like they down for you and want you to ride the roller coaster, and you do it, and then they shit you at the end. That's what people do, no matter what you did for them. So yes, I agree. You got to ride the roller coasters with your friends, people who's important with you. You don't want to leave them when they're vulnerable, because God rewards the bold. So when you bowl with somebody, that's how you get to be friends with how you get to be around guys that are billionaires, because you trusted them. They remember that. They have business relationships. So I just want to also teach that. But also, man, when it comes to a player, I don't give a damn what he did last week. Is that player athletic ability elite? Is his athletic ability elite? Is the coach believe in him? Is he a good player? I knew that J-Mo was a good player before they signed and gave him the deal. And once they gave him the deal, I knew that he was going to have a good season. But I was nervous in the beginning, but I stayed with it. I was what I tell y'all. I get it. Y'all don't want to start him, but guys, I'm gonna start him. That's the best that I could say to get y'all to understand. I don't want to tell y'all you better hold on to him, because I get it. Y'all got money in these leagues just like I got. So cutting edge content, Matt Carmody. Skill says, I think I sent the super chat. You did, bro. Love will do it. Yes, sir. Skill says Alabama or Auburn. I'm going with Alabama, man. Sweet home Alabama. Dun, 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 King Series. Hey, I appreciate that, Chris Vila. Appreciate that the sticker that you sent, bro. Appreciate that. King Serious says, do you agree with Kendrick Perkins' comments about saying that Shadir Sanders is the most powerful black man since Barack Obama? He said he has the balance of I'm arrogant, but I'm humble too. I would say that I am arrogant, but I'm humble too. I would say the same thing. Y'all know I'll be like, hey, what did I say? Da, 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 da. But I'm very humble. I read everybody chat. That's my humbleness that I bring to the table. But I think I'm the shit when it comes to fantasy. I think I'm just as good as Bill Belichick picking out talent. Shit, I think I'm better than Bill Belichick picking out talent. But going to the Shadir situation, hell yeah. He has motivated me. I can see myself in him. Y'all should be able to see it. If you out here trying to make it in life, you should understand that. Also, if you are a father, especially a black father, and I know people don't work, stay here. As Ocho Cinco say, stay with me here now. So this is why Shadir is a powerful guy. It's his father, it's what his father has did. So when you see Deion Sanders going out there and saying, my son is great, and Deion said, I'm gonna quit chasing women in the streets, and I'm gonna go spend time with my kids and make them what they want to be, because he probably could feel like, Daddy, we want to be like you, Daddy. We want to be around. We want to dance. We want to wear jewelry just like you did. And Deion said that God told him, go be with your boys. Because Deion said he was bored. He said he had bought all the cars. He was slept with a bunch of women. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know what his purpose was going to be anymore. He wanted to play in sports. And he said that God came to him and told him, go spend time with them boys. That is powerful. That's what men should be doing. We are, as an African-American race in America, are trying to establish real strong families and real strong work ethics for our kids, so we can keep this going and we don't never have to go back to what we was 50, 60 years ago, right? So when I see Deion, this is him giving his gift to his boys, and that's powerful. So I am attracted to that. You probably attracted to it. A lot of black males are attracted to that, and even some white males are attracted to this guy trying to push his son to be great. Archie Manning did it, and we all loved it when he was sitting there for Eli Manning, and he did it for Peyton. Even Peyton got in trouble in Tennessee, and Archie had his back. Y'all know the story, what he did to the trainer with Peyton. And I don't know nothing about that. I'm not speaking on that too much, but that's just what's in the news. So yes, I do think he is he the most powerful? Maybe not, but I do think he's very, very powerful. Top 10, top 5. Over the rappers, over celebrities. That's cutting edge content, bruh. He said he has the okay, yeah, we did that one. So Bandit says Kelsey has been a value pick for me in the 10th round. Yeah, bro, you gotta. That's why I said ain't no bad players. It depends on what the value you get for them. Ain't no such thing as a bad player. Ain't no such thing as a player in fantasy that sucks. You never know what you might need, right? Pause. Quincy Davis says, "What up, bro? What's going on, Quincy?" He says, "Need for Brian Thomas Jr., Myers, Butte, Higgins, Quentin Johnson, Vidal, Tootin, Charbonnet." So I'm gonna tell you, Vidal, Brian Thomas Jr., Brian Thomas Jr., Butte, and Quentin Johnson. Quentin Johnson, Vidal, Brian Thomas Jr., and Butte. He said, Quincy Davis says, need one, Harvey, Franklin, Sutton. We're going with Harvey over Franklin and Sutton. Big Will says, LeVar Ball did the same thing with his three sons to get them into the NBA. Come on now. Come on now. Preach. Preach. All right, guys. I guess I'm going to get out of here this time. I love the conversations. I think it's good. I'm the only fantasy football channel that will go there. And I think that's my niche. I think it's my market. I think y'all are okay with it. If y'all wasn't, I think y'all would tell me, hey, TD, man, stick to the topic. Stick to the topic. But I try to mend all of it together. All right, guys, y'all be safe. Peace.